Have you ever seen someone with a pierced ear and wondered what it meant? In our modern world, it might just be a fashion statement or a way to express a personal style. But in ancient Israel, a pierced ear could tell a very different story, one of loyalty, love, or a lifetime commitment. And believe it or not, the Bible records exactly how and why it happened. Welcome back to The Past is Unlocked. We attempt to unlock the Bible one verse at a time. My name is Jim Murrell, and today we're going to be taking a closer look at an ancient custom with a surprisingly powerful and spiritual meaning, found in Exodus chapter 21, verses 5 and 6. But if a servant plainly says, "I love my master, my wife, my children, I will not go out free," then the master shall bring him to the judges, and shall also bring him to the door or a doorpost, and the master shall pierce his ear with an awl, and he shall serve him forever. First off, we notice the choice of a servant. In Israel's law, Hebrew servitude was not cruel. It was not a permanent slavery like we know from recent history. It was usually a way of repaying a debt or just surviving financially. A Hebrew servant would serve for 6 years, and in the 7th year, he was set free. No strings attached, Exodus 21 and 2. But sometimes when the release came, the servant didn't want to go. Why? Because during his time of service, the master had treated him with kindness and provided him with his needs, and maybe even given him a wife and children. In that case, the servant could make a life-changing declaration: "I love my master, and I will not go free." This was not a decision made under pressure. It was an act of love and loyalty. Number 2, the ceremony at the door. Once a servant chose to stay, the law gave clear instructions as to what I would call that ceremony at the door. The master and the servant would go to the judges, making the decisions, in a public place where it could be witnessed. And then they would stand at the door or the doorpost of the master's house, and the master would take a sharp awl, a sharp tool often used for leather, and pierce the servant's ear through. Why the doorpost? Why was the doorpost symbolic in Israel's history? Because remember in Exodus chapter 12, during the Passover, God's people marked their doorposts with blood so the Lamb of judgment would pass over them. The doorpost was a covenant identity, a declaration of belonging, because the piercing of the ear there, the servant was saying, "This is my home, I choose to belong here, and I will serve my master for life." Number 3, the commitment for life. That pierced ear was more than a fashion statement. It was a commitment for life. From that day forward, the mark told everyone that this man serves him because he wants to. This image carries straight on through the New Testament for the Greek word doulos, often translated servant or maybe bondservant. Literally a slave, but in the sense of someone who willingly gives themselves to another's authority. The Apostle Paul calls himself a doulos of Jesus Christ in Romans 1 verse 1, Philippians 1 verse 1, and in Titus 1 verse 1. Paul is saying, "I've been set free from sin, but I choose to belong to Christ entirely and forever." Psalm 40 and verse 6 even echoes this imagery. "My ears have been opened," literally pierced or dug open, symbolizing readiness to hear and obey God. And of course, our ultimate example is Jesus. In Philippians 2 and verse 7, he says that he took on the, quote, form of a servant or a doulos, humbling himself even to death, even the death of the cross. Not because he was compelled to do it, because of his love for us. Now let's discuss several practical applications. Number 1, choose your master wisely. Everyone serves something. Is it Christ? Matthew 6:24. Serve not from obligation, but from love. This service has to flow through from gratitude and not grudging duty. And number 3, make your decision public. The servant's pierced ear was visible. It was something that could be seen, just as our faith ought to do the same. The servant's pierced ear told the world that he was committed for life. What about you? What is the visible evidence that you belong to Jesus? Not a hole in your ear, but a fully surrendered heart for him. The greatest freedom is found when we willingly say, "I love my master, and I will serve him forever."